Everybody, and welcome to another installment of Analog Wavelength TV. I am your host with the most, Sean, and today I'm going to do another tag video. This one from Tommy's Vinyl Vault. Wanting to see some punk vinyl. I got plenty of that. I got exposed to punk in the '90s when I was in high school, and a lot of that stuff. It was all on mixtapes. I wasn't really buying punk vinyl. It wasn't until I became an adult and started going back to a lot of the punk and mainly hardcore that I really liked and started to amass a pretty good collection of punk. And as I said, most of it's mainly hardcore. So most of the stuff that you're going to see tonight, not all of it, but most of the stuff is hardcore in nature. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So the first thing here is show a new punk record from 2021. So this is a 2021 release from an Italian hardcore band called Colpe, and the album is called La colpe solotua, which means it's all your fault. I really like Italian hardcore. I didn't discover Italian hardcore until later, but I really like it because A, I like the style of the music, and B, I can actually understand it because I speak Italian. So there you go. Show a reissue or compilation punk record from 2021. So here's a reissue of an 80s hardcore 7-inch that I've always really liked. I've never found an original. If I ever find one, I'll probably pick it up. But this is Burning Image, called The Final Conflict, and this reissue sounds pretty good. So happy to grab that. And then next is name an album that you are expecting and looking forward to in 2022. So Neon Taste Records just put out a new album from a band called Bootlicker, and I've been meaning to pick that up. So that's one that's been on my radar recently. Show your first punk record. So the first punk vinyl that I can remember buying is a really early repress of this first Discharge record. This is a UK on clay. It's got the thing over here that makes it a repress technically, but it's very early. So that is the first punk vinyl that I remember buying. But as I said, when I was getting into punk back in my teenage years, most of the stuff I had was just on mixtapes and things that people made for me. So show a 7-inch punk single or EP. All right, so this is one of my all-time favorite hardcore records. I will never get tired of this as long as I live. This is the Mech Mensch EP. This is an original copy. It's got the fold-over sleeve. It's got the first version of the insert, and there's the actual disc. Funny story, for one of the Record Store Day drops 2021, Butch Vig, who produced this record, if you want to know what Butch Vig was doing before he produced every 90s grunge album that anyone cares about, he was in Madison, Wisconsin, producing underground bands. So anyway, Butch Vig did a video conference with a whole bunch of record store owners, and I was given, through a local record store owner, I was given the opportunity to ask Butch Vig a question. And so I asked him if he had any recollections of recording the Mech Mensch EP or any funny stories to go along with it. And I got a lot more than I bargained for out of that question, because he said that in the 90s, after he had become popular as a producer, Sonic Youth invited him over to their apartment in Greenwich Village because they wanted Butch Vig to produce one of their upcoming records. So he said that he went to their apartment and he had never met them before. And he said he knocked on the door, and he walked in, and Kim and Thurston are there, and he said he wasn't in the door 10 seconds, and Thurston put a record down on the turntable and said, "Hey, I want our new record to sound like this. Can you make it sound like this?" And he said it was Zombie by Mech Mensch. And he said that Thurston had like everything he had ever done in as far as underground bands go. He didn't have any of the popular stuff, but he had all of this obscure 80s stuff that he had done. So I thought that was pretty cool. All right, show a 10-inch punk record. This album is all kinds of badass. I love this record to death. This is an original copy of Rancid Let's Go from 1994. It's on white vinyl, double 10-inch. Killer album. Definitely one of my favorites from the 90s. All right, show a punk compilation LP. Well, if I'm going to talk about punk compilations, I got to go to the Maximum Rock and Roll compilations because those were just outstanding. And I think this, pound for pound, is probably the best hardcore compilation ever, especially for West Coast hardcore. This Maximum Rock and Roll compilation is called Not So Quiet on the Western Front. I'm sure a lot of people know this. This compilation is just absolutely amazing. So this particular copy, it's funny how the original copies of this came with one custom inner sleeve and then the second record in a plain white sleeve. I don't know why that is, but the early copies of this also came with a zine printed on newsprint that has basically one page devoted to every single band that's on the compilation. So pretty neat, good stuff. Yeah, so there are definitely some other Maximum Rock and Roll compilations out there that I love as well. Is This 1984, or This Is 1984, I should say. That's a great one. Another one, it wasn't Maximum Rock and Roll, but Jello Biafra was involved in it, was Let Them Eat Jelly Beans. I think that's one of the best punk comps ever too, or at least as far as hardcore goes. Okay, next, show a 70s punk record. So here is an original copy of the Avengers' first single from 1978. This is another one that I will never get tired of. Danger House was a great label that, in hindsight, produced an excellent document of the West Coast punk scene at the time. So this one is this one's got a large spindle hole, but you can see down here they marked out the speed of the record, which is an indicator that it was an original. For whatever reason, Danger House originals tended to come in both large spindle hole and small spindle hole versions. I don't know why, but it's just one of those quirky things of collecting, I guess. All right, show an 80s hardcore record. So this is one of my favorite 80s hardcore records, and this is another one that's been super hard to come across, but happy to have it. It's self-titled from Deep, or well, not self-titled. I'm sorry, from Deep Wound. So this is an amazing record. It's one of the best ever. This copy has the insert with it, and so I was happy as a kid in a candy store the day I finally found that. This Deep Wound 7-inch is one that was on a particular mixtape that always sticks out in my mind that I had when I was in school, and I used to just eat those tracks for lunch. They were so good. Okay, show a crossover or post-punk record. So here we go with the old shit again. Here's an original UK copy of Public Image. And so this is, it's got the whole newspaper sleeve and everything. I think anybody that's into post-punk is going to have that record. I mean, it's essential, absolutely essential. Okay, let's see. Show your friend's band or your band punk record. So here's a here's a somewhat recent 7-inch from a band called Scarecrow, and this band is formed from a few guys that work at one of my local record shops, and this album is just ripping. Oh, so good. And this is released on Bunker Punks, which is actually a label that's run by one of the guys. So that's excellent stuff. Okay, show an all-female or female-fronted punk band. If you've never heard of this group, you should get wise. Rubble. Rubble is based out of Portland, Oregon, I believe. This one came out on Distort Reality. I believe Distort Reality's put out all of their releases. And this is just a rager. So good. All right. Let's see. All right. Show a punk record from your favorite punk record label. I'm going to have to get back to that one because apparently I forgot to pull one of those from... oh, actually, you know what? I've got it right here. Let's see. Where is it? Okay, so one of my favorite punk labels is definitely Sorry State Records. Sorry State and La Vida es un Mus. Both of those labels, I mean, whatever they put out, chances are I'm going to like it. Here's the very first release on Sorry State from Direct Control. This was back from 2004. This is an original copy on black vinyl. So, yeah. All right. Show a band self-released or DIY punk record. So here's 2 records on red and blue vinyl from Chiller. Chiller has put out all of their stuff self-released, I believe. These records are amazing. These are just hard, nasty, just... Oh. If you're in the mood to just rage it out, right here. Okay. Show your most valuable punk record. Okay. So my most valuable punk record, I'm going to split this up into 2, just like I did with the cassette challenge, because I think it's important. So I'll do the one that has the most value to me personally, and then the one that's probably the most valuable money-wise. So the one that's most valuable to me personally is this absolutely beautiful near mint copy of Septic Death's Need So Much Attention. This is one of the mail order copies that was on one of several different colors of vinyl. This one is clear. And this one has all kinds of extra stuff in it. It's got a poster that's hand-signed by Pusshead. It's got, God, so much stuff. Let's see. Let's see all the stuff that's in here. Okay, so I know this copy has all the goodies, so we'll start with the 2 stickers that it came with, which is pretty cool. And then it's got this merch sheet kind of thing. Then it's got... Okay, so this one, so it's got this like art print and lyric sheet that is hand numbered by Pusshead, number 196 of 275. Then the regular versions of this came with a poster on newsprint that was all that didn't have color. The ones in the mail order versions actually do have a little bit of color, and it's hand signed and let's see if I can, yeah, there we go. So it's hand signed and numbered by Pusshead, again matching number 196 of 275. So yeah, this was an unbelievable find for me. Septic Death is another one of those bands that that I really got into back, in my younger days, and I had so much of their music on mixtapes and things like that. So, as a lot of people that are into punk vinyl probably know, especially if you're into grindcore and hardcore stuff. I mean, Septic Death, original Septic Death vinyl is a unicorn. Um, so, I mean, not only to find any copy of this, but a copy that looks and sounds like it was unplayed, and to be one of the mail order copies is pretty cool. Um, so that's the one that's got the most value to me personally. The one that's probably got the most value money-wise is this original copy of Black Flag's first single, Nervous Breakdown. So this is this copy is near mint. It looks and sounds like the day it was new. There's not a mark on it, and oh man, I play this pretty regularly. Um, you know, maybe once a month or so, but it's got the bubble font and everything. Um, and this copy also has, so it came in the original inner bag, but it was all ripped and nasty, and it just wasn't working. So luckily the SST sticker peeled off. And so instead of keeping that original inner bag that was just garbage and falling apart, the SST sticker peeled off very easily, so I put it in a new outer sleeve and just kept the SST sticker on it. So yeah, these are not getting any cheaper. We'll leave it at that. But super happy to have that. I mean, that's one of just the historical importance of this. Never mind what a great record it is. For anybody that doesn't know, right, this is Keith Morris on vocals here, who would, of course, go on to be a founder of Circle Jerks. So this record is just killer. So very happy to have that. Okay, show record from a local punk band. So I did a local punk band when I did the cassette tag challenge. So I'm going to mix this one up a little bit and do a hardcore band from my hometown, which is Fresno, California, and probably the band that got the most exposure from the 80s Fresno hardcore scene was Capital Punishment. This is their debut full-length LP called When Pooch Comes to Shove. And I have been lucky enough to meet the guy that was behind this, Dale Stewart, and he still lives in Fresno, and he's a big historian of the punk scene in Fresno. So he's a great guy to talk to. Interestingly enough, too, this album is actually one of the best sounding hardcore records I've ever heard. Like, it doesn't sound like it was recorded in a basement, right? And it was actually mastered by George Horn at Fantasy Records. And I mean, George Horn is held in high regard even by audiophiles for his mastering work. And so the fact that, there was this local band, probably didn't have a lot of money, that got George Horn to master their record is pretty cool, because it sounds fantastic. Okay, show a record from a punk band with a fun name. How about Alien Nose Job? These guys are a newer band, and I love everything of theirs that I've heard. So yeah, and I mean that's a great name, Alien Nose Job. Love it. Okay. So, show a record that you bought from a gig. So, here's here's a 10-inch record from a group called Suburbanized. And what is the name of this? Yeah, it's called Birth Deformities. And I got this at a gig. And this was from 2012, I believe. Yeah. So 10-inch. It's got a little inner sleeve, and it comes with a poster and stuff. So it's a cool little thing. It's a pretty decent record. I mean, I wouldn't say it's outstanding, but it's pretty good. And then Show the record that you listened to before going to the punk gig. Well, I mean, come on, right? How are you going to... I don't know. For me, when I'm going to a gig, got to go with the classics. So never mind the Bullocks. A, it's great driving music. B, I mean, what can I say about this record that hasn't already been said 100,000 times, right? So this is an original U.S. copy. It's got the sticker where they left off submission. So, well, I guess technically the very first U.S. copies didn't have the sticker, but I've always wanted a copy with the sticker because it kind of shows the fuck up. All right, and then the last one, show the punk record that you're listening to drunk at home. If I'm drunk off my ass and in the mood for some punk, there is only one album that will do, and that's this, the first record from the Plasmatics. The sound, just the atmosphere of this record, the sound of it, just everything about it is just perfect when you're sitting there drunk off your ass and just want something cool to listen to. This never ceases to satisfy. So. And I believe that is it for all of the questions. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you like this content, please give me a like and give me a subscribe. And I will see you guys on the flip side. Peace.